Hello, welcome to my channel, Life with Mrs H. Today I thought I'd show you my recipe of macaroni cheese, and also I put bacon in it and everything. Well, there we go. But yeah, my husband thinks it's the ultimate mac cheese because he loves bacon, he loves cheese, he's like, it's the best he's ever tasted. Well, that's probably debatable because there is probably some other people out there who could make it even better, but this is how I do it. So, right, I'm going to show you all the ingredients. So I'm going to tilt my my phone down so you can see what I'm actually using. Right, so here we go. Let's just move that down. Right. Okay. So what I've got is, now I always use a Cathedral City extra mature. Now I've prepped up, I use half a block, so it's half a block of that. But if you use an extra mature cheddar, it makes it nice and cheesy. So I'll put that one over there. Now I've got a cup of flour in. Normally I make my roux, whatever you want to call it, before I make my sauce. I just normally do it by eye. But I've got one of these, like, it's a 250ml cup, so you could say a quarter of a cup if you're using a normal cup. I've just got to hold my tripod because it's actually beginning to tilt over. Right, I think I've got it wedged, I'm not sure. So, and then I've also got parmesan. I always put parmesan in it. Now you want a really high strength. This is 4. Sometimes I use a 5, but it's 4 to 5 you need, and I use a whole block of this. So I use half in with the grated cheese that I've already got grated here. So I've grated my half a block of cheese, and I've gone and grated half a block of this in there. So that's all ready. And then the other half, I've grated that up, so it's ready to put on top. You're going to need, to make the roux, I'm using this Asda spread rule slightly salted butter. Whatever butter you want to use, it's up to you. This is slightly salted. You can use unsalted if you want, if you're low sodium diet. But there again, this, I don't add any other salt except for a bit of pepper into this because the cheese is quite salty, the parmesan's quite salty, and yeah, so we don't really want any more salt added into it. And then I buy streaky bacon. This one was from Tesco. So you want a few rashers of that, which I've got prepped up and chopped. So that's already chopped up, ready. I thought I didn't want to bore you by flipping, standing here chopping up bacon, but yeah, you can see. I would say I've probably used 3/4 of the pack and chopped it up. What else? Got some black pepper. This is just normal black pepper. I think that's about it. I've already got a pan on ready. Oh, not forgetting the main ingredient. You need a pack of macaroni. Now, I usually put about half a pack into a bowl of, a pan of salted water. So, anyway, let's get started. I'm just going to put you on pause for a minute so I can set my camera up near the cooker. So we've got a pan here with a bit of oil in it, which I'm actually going to put the bacon into. Just get the spoon. Oops. Got to be careful I don't knock my tripod into the cooker. So we're going to put all this bacon into here. I'll turn it up on full and get this going. So we can get that going. And I'm going to move it onto the back heat. So we'll get that up and running. Like so. If you wanted to make it a bit different, you can even chop some fine garlic up and put that in with your bacon if you want to. You can put anything you want in your mac cheese, it's whatever you fancy really. This seems to be taking a while to heat up. So I'm just going to put you on pause for a second. Right, so we've got this bacon sizzling in this pan now. Let's see if I can bring you a little bit closer. No, it doesn't seem to be working. Anyway, so yeah, it's sizzling away in the pan. So that's got going. Now, depending on how you like it, or you want it crispy, or you want thin, I don't have it too crispy, but I'm going to stick it on the back heat now while I make my sauce. The water started to boil for the macaroni to go in the pan. So I can just swap this over a little bit more. As you can see, I've got a pan of water in there. I've slightly salted it, so I'm going to now stick the macaroni in there. So like I said, I use a rubber that I've packed. I always have some left. Mine's been just a macaroni cheese. Because my daughter was here a few days ago and she asked, Mom, if you're making your mac cheese, please save me some. Make the pot and freeze it for me when I come over next time. Normally, there's nothing left. And my husband's ate it all, so I'll just stick that there. So yeah, I've got one of these pasta things that sticks everything, so we give that a stir. Just go around, let that come back up to the temperature. Now as you can see, this is sizzling away nicely. So if you like your bacon like this, or if you want to get crispier, it depends how it runs. I'm going to stick this now on the back heat because I want to get on with making the roux for. So I'll put that on the back heat on full. Now I need a whisk. So we get this pan whisk right. So in this pan, I'm going to stick. We get our. If you want to use unsalted, it doesn't matter which one you use anyway. But yeah, we're going to make a roux. So I'm going to slap in there. Up 2 of them. 1, 2. So it's two great big heap spoons of. Yes, this is a high calorie, whatever, who cares? We don't care. I'm honest, we only have it about once a month anyway. It's not as if we're eating it every night. So I'm going to melt this butter now. This is, I've got it on quite a high heat. So let the butter melt. Melting away in the pan. Let's just turn it down so it doesn't burn. Let's start to see. Just get the pan there and just get that out. Just all that sizzling. Let's just spin it around. And this is how you make your roux. I think it's called roux, I don't know. Anyway, this is how you do a roux. Just got bacon with a stir. I'm going to turn it up a bit because I just like it a bit crispy. Oops. And while you're doing this, now this is going to go in the oven once it's all cooked to melt the parmesan and just to give it a blast in the oven. So there you go, it's all melted now. So we'll just turn the heat down to a medium heat. Now we get our cup of flour, pop that in there, and we're going to cook this off. And I'll put the flour off like this, about 5 minutes. You know, it's a stodgy mess at the moment, like that. Look. It's just so you haven't got that toasted flour. Just keep mixing it around. And medium heat. You can see it's coming back to softness again. Now I forgot to tell you about one key ingredient that's got to go in this in a minute. So I'm going to mix that for about 3-4 minutes just to get that flour to cook off. I might actually just stick a little bit more in there because I normally have a little bit more than that now. I'll just touch a teeny bit more in there. I mean, if it does go too thick, you can always stick a bit more milk in it. That's what's going to go in next. Now you can use semi-skim milk, you can use whole milk. I'm using whole milk. So this is one high-fat meal, but it's so worth it in the end. I'm going to use a pint of it at the moment, a pint of milk. I may have to put a bit more in, depending. Let's get this to cook off. As soon as it's softening up, softening again. Just give that a mix. Bacon. Doing a bit of multitasking. Who says that women can't multitask? Right, there we go. That's getting a nice little brown in colour right now. You can, if you want to. You don't want to use streaky bacon. You could use any bacon really, just chop it up. I just use streaky because it's a bit more fatty, so it gives it more flavour. Yeah, it's quite nice. Like I said, I don't really tend to add any salt or anything into the mix. Let's see this round for a sec. And there is the roux. Now, I'm going to turn the heat up on this because now I'm going to add the milk. Spilt it all over the up. Yeah. Okay. So now you can see all the lumps in it, but if you keep stirring this now, keep whisking it now with your whisk, they will all dissolve. And then once it gets up to temperature, see the lumps are going now. As you can see, they're all dissolving. Keep whisking, keep going. I just want this bit of milk up and quick before it burns. That's it. So the mac cheese, the macaroni, a bit of stir, so it's not sticking to the bottom. That's it. That's actually on full at the moment. Some bacon is all stir, so you can see it's starting to brown. Let that crisp up. Like I said, you can use lard on this if you prefer. I have used lard on this before, but it's just nice to have little big bits of bacon in there. Probably going to turn this off in a minute because you don't want it too crisp. Right, this is. You've got to keep stirring this because you don't want it to stick on the bottom and you don't want it to burn. And what I'm going to do in a minute, give it a good stir, tilting the pan a little bit just so the bottom doesn't get too, doesn't catch, because it is milk at the end of the day, and milk can catch on the bottom of the pan and burn. Now, just turn this down to a full, so it's a medium heat, turn it down to a medium heat. And this is starting to thicken. I'm going to turn that bacon off now, so we don't want that too crisp. As you can see, this is thickening up. starting to go thick. Still got a few lumps in there, so we'll give it a good whisk about. Keep whisking it until them lumps go on the heat. And it's getting quite thick, this. And depending on how thick you want your sauce, you can either add a bit more milk or a bit more, or not. It's up to you. If you want it like really thick, then just leave it as it is. So as you can see, keep whisking and whisking away. It's getting nice and thick. This is going to be a nice thick consistency. It's nice and smooth. Right, before I add the cheese, I'm actually going to, might just, no, you want that quite thick really. Might just add another little bit of milk. Like I said, I'm using whole milk. If you want to use semi-skimmed, you use semi-skimmed. I'm using whole milk. Just give that another mix in. See now my bacon, look at that. That's enough. You'll see the residue heat now because I've turned that heat off. But that's great as it is. The residue heat, but the actual hob is still cooking that. So that's bacon, it's all nice and crisped up. Right, and this has gone nice and thick. So I'll take that off. And just find a little plate. Just put my whisk on. And there we go, put the whisk on there. Right, so we got our cheese, our big bowl of cheese. And basically dump it in there. Oh, you can't resist cheese, eh? Look at all that in there. Obviously there's people out there, and I'll just keep mixing that now and watch it doesn't catch. Now I've got it on full on my, as you can see at the moment, it's like that. It's really thick. It's all stuck in my whisk, so just whack your whisk and then give it in the mix. I might have to stick some more milk in this, I don't know. But keep whooshing this round, the cheese will actually dissolve. So you can see all like, it's quite lumpy but it's quite thick. So I may have to put a bit more milk in. I mean, if you want it that thick, have it that thick, but yeah. Just keep stirring it around, the cheese melts. I'll put a teeny bit more milk in. Just to loosen it up a bit. I don't want to turn the heat up because I don't want to burn it. Spilling it everywhere. Oh, spilling it. Sacrilege. Don't spill your mac cheese. Right, so that's coming on like that. That's all nice. Let's look on 6. Just try and get that going. Stir. Keep whisking it round. That will dissolve. Looks lumpy at the moment. Once the heat starts getting through it again, it is going to dissolve. I wouldn't turn your heat up because you'll burn and it'll stick to the bottom of the pan, and that's what we don't want. So keep stirring. Whoa, look how thick that is. That's lush. Keep stirring until the cheese dissolves. That's actually coming on nicely. Give it a good mix. This has gone really, really thick. Stick some more milk in. Like I said, if it gets just too thick, just keep adding more milk. Just like I say, it's nice for it to be thick. Okay, right flipping mess in the oven. Cooker, or whatever you want to call it. Right flipping mess, as you can see. Who cares? Right now, see how thick that is? That is absolutely lush. Cheese is melting. Still got a few lumps in there, but it should go in a sec. It'll be nice and smooth. Like I said, if you turn the hob up, you'll end up burning the bottom of your pan. You've got to keep it moving to stop it from sticking and burning. Always keep it moving with your whisk. And it stops it from sticking and burning at the bottom of the pan. That is getting nice and smooth now. There we go. Here's cheese sauce. Now I'm just going to get a little bit of pepper. That's all I tend to put in mine. So just normal ground black pepper. A pinch. That's it. As you can see, there it is. I'll stir that in. See, look how smooth that is and thick. You can see. So it's a nice thick cheese sauce. Right, I've made a flipping mess of my hob. What's the state of that? It's all burnt, never mind. So, that's all ready. Just waiting for pasta. The bacon's done. I shall bring you back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Right, so that's pasta's done. What we're going to do now is get our bacon, fat and all, because it's not that much fat, but yeah, that goes in. Pop that on there. Give it a good mix round into there. So that looks good just on its own, doesn't it? All that bacon in there. Nom nom nom. Right, so now we get our cheese sauce. Now that's gone really thick. Look at that. How thick that is. I'm going to dump some of that in there. I might have some of this left, actually. So what I'm actually going to do, you can freeze, if you've made too much, like I have, I always do, I'll freeze it, and it'll freeze for 3 months. And I'll probably use it on as a topping on a lasagna, which I'll show you that one. Oh, it's divine. It's so cheesy. Put a good mix in. Hear that squelching around, look at it. Look at that. Right, so now you've got that. It's nice, thick, cheesy. Oh, the bacon's stuck to my flipping thing. Right, yeah. So that's that. Now, I'll just pop that over there. You get sometimes I use a deep dish, but I've got this one today. So you get your dish, which I'm using this one. Let's just pull the camera back so you can see. Right, put all that in there. Not waste any. Get it all in. Scrape it all in. My husband's normally out and he's normally sticking his fingers in the pan because he loves the cheese sauce. Now, I'll just get that. Oops, when you have the bacon on it, just spread that across into your dish. So, right, that parmesan I grated this is going on top. Now what I normally put on top of this is, you know, you can buy these little tubs of crispy onions, but I haven't got any because I normally put that on top as well. So you spread all this, it's a bit more cheese. Now if you're on a diet, this this recipe ain't good for you. I don't think it's good to man or beast, but there we go. If you're going to die, you're going to die happy. Can't tell it to you. Yeah, so there it is. So this now is going to go in the oven. I'll stick it in the oven for about 20 minutes. It's basically just to, you know, crisp off that. And I'll bring you back when it comes out the oven and it's nice and crispy and I'm serving it up. So while that's in the oven, I'm going to decanter the rest of this cheese sauce into a pot. See all that? Now you could use that again for another mac cheese. And just scrape it all out of the pan. And before I put the lid on it, I'll let that cool down. But that, like I said, you can stick it in the freezer. It'll last up to 3 months, and then you can either use it for another mac cheese. So it works out that as you've got 2 portions, or like I said, I'll put that on top of a lasagna, which is another one I'll show you, one of my recipes. Yeah, so when that's cooled down, that'll go in the freezer. What I'll do is I'll leave the lid off just let it cool down because I don't want the steam getting in there. So what I'll do, as you can see, my hob is a mess. So while I'm waiting for that, I'll have a good clean round. But I have got this, which I bought from Aldi today, which is going to go with it. And this is a mature cheddar and onion sharing focaccia. I can't pronounce things. I'm an older for God's sake. Yeah, so this is going to go in the oven as well. I'll stick that on the lower shelf. So look at that. That's nice, isn't it? Just to go with it. That's supposed to go in for 8 to 12 minutes, but I'm just going to stick it on the bottom shelf and then it'll be ready. It doesn't get hot on the bottom shelf, so it'll be better in there. I'll bring you back in a little while. Right, so I'm going to get the focaccia out of the oven and get that sliced up. So that's that. We'll try and put this out. Stuff in its little tray. The poor husband's waiting so patiently for his dinner. It's like I'm faffing around doing videos. So that's that. So all that's come on. It's nice and crisp. Lovely. So through there. That. And that. I'm going to cut mine into little quarters. That. So I'll stick that on there like that. Put all my husband might notice like that after his. Put them like that there. So they're on the side. Let's get rid of that. Now, the main attraction. Let's get it out of the oven. Oh gosh, that's heavy, look at that, sizzling away. Now you could put this on the grill rather than in the oven, but yeah, I'm just going to bring the camera a bit closer so you can see. That's all sizzling. Can you hear that sizzle? Lovely. Right, this is mentally hot. Now there's enough here for 4 people, maybe 6, don't know, but it never lasts long in my house. A big scoop. That's dishes hot. Look at that. Ooh, gosh, that's hot. I mean, if you're on your own, you could make a big dish of this up and then portion it up into little pots and freeze it once it's cooled down. Or you could cook it in them, you can buy little foil trays. So that's my hobbies. I want these a lot. So there's enough here. I mean, these are big portions. My husband is severely hungry, so I'm not sticking a little bit more on there. There you go. So now you've got all that left. So I'm going to move that over. Just leave that there. You will probably go back to that, I don't know. But my daughter did ask if I could save some. So when there's some left, we'll see. There you have it. That is my homemade mac and cheese. Now, let's just bring the camera around and tilt it up a bit. There we go. Now, if you like to see any more homemade recipes, now this recipe, I didn't learn it anywhere. I didn't find it on YouTube, I didn't find it anywhere. It was just done by everything that I put in when I first made it. I didn't measure anything, like I said, it was just all done by eye. So, you know, if you want to see any more of my recipes, hit the subscribe button, please give me a like and hit that notification bell. And I do hope to see you soon. My husband's starving, so I better give him his food and stop faffing about while it's still hot. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching.